So you were at the meet and greet with Cardi-B.
Yes, sir. I was.
Word has it that you organized or you invited celebrities to meet and greet Cardi-B. Is that true?
Well, just to explain things, that is partly some parts are right and some parts are not right. Um, so the part that is right was that I know because I'm a performing artist on that bill, was that there was three sessions. The first one was at 1 p.m. for the media. And then there was 1:30 by which actually they called me the night before and said, Becca, I would like you and a few of your fans to do or to come for a one-on-one with Cardi B. And then that is where I came in. So I suggested that, you know what, I'm not going to go to a meet and greet with Cardi B alone. I will invite a few of my colleagues, friends and colleagues to go with me. And so I told organizers, and then I hit a few of my friends up that same night, my colleagues, especially in the music industry, music particularly, and one or two on-air personalities, who are all female. So I hit them up and I said, you know, there's a meet and greet. There's supposed to be a one-on-one with me and Cardi B. And so it's going to be a one-on-one with me and with Cardi B and my friends. So I called them, and there were a handful of people that I invited. And so, yes, I called them to come. And I know at 2 p.m. was for sponsors. And so I was called to do this. And I invited a few of my colleagues to come along with me because I felt like it was appropriate for me to do that. You know, it was going to be fun for all the girls to meet together and meet her. And so, and not just me. We have passed that stage where you want to be selfish with certain things. And so that is how I invited some of my colleagues. Not everybody, just to clarify things, not everybody that was there, even some of the female celebrities, did I invite. Some of them I was shocked to even see there personally, you know, because I didn't. Yes, that means other people had hit other people up. In fact, some of the people when I had already, one or two of them when I already said, "Oh, yo, what are you doing tomorrow?" "Oh, they just called me at 10 p.m. I have a one-on-one with Cardi. Are you free? Come along. Yeah, let's all go and meet. Let's go and do this together." Had already said, "Oh, we already been invited," which means some people had already hit them up. I don't know who. But some people had already said, "Oh, that's fine." But the people that I invited were my colleagues in the music industry and a few personalities, online personalities that I thought, would be good to share, to do this thing with, not just me. So that was exactly what it was.
Now, although I don't have too much time,
Yes,
do you mind mentioning names of people you personally invited?
Oh, mostly the artists, So if you saw the female artists there, I invited them. Some especially artists, not the actresses, and I invited most of the artists, the female artists. So most of the female artists that were there, which was you could see them. Of course, Eno was on the bill, so I called the musicians. When I say artists, I mean musicians. I call them. And then of course I invited one or two people that I was close with.
So if you were told to bring or invite few friends, just as you did, how come you were also disappointed? Because obviously, when you got there, she wasn't ready to meet you.
Absolutely. So I was also disappointed, and that is a good thing for you to say because I wasn't the only. I was in the room with everybody else waiting. So it wasn't just any other person that was waiting. I was also in the room with them, and I was equally disappointed. So, disappointed asking, I felt like, oh, why are we've been here so low? They gave us 1:30, but apparently there was a huge communication gap because if anybody knows me, Andy, I'm not the sort to judge people. I'm very critical when it comes to that, and I always tell people that I always try as much as possible to look at the positive side of things. I was there wondering the same thing that everybody else was wondering, like, why is she not out? What's happening? And then I got to know after everything that, her manager wasn't even around to brief her because they came on two separate flights. And so she was oblivious of whatever was happening. And it's because I was a performing artist and I was in the hotel because everyone that was performing was in the hotel. We all lodged there. So some of us later on got the privilege of getting to know that, so she wasn't even aware that the meet and greet was coming on because her manager hadn't briefed her.
So wait, if the manager, guys, please, excuse me, if the manager hadn't briefed her, who invited you then? Because I know it's the manager's job.
Live Sport invited me. Live Sport invited me to come for one, and that was even the night before, the day before, the evening. So it wasn't something that I knew weeks ago. I just knew it the night before.
Now, when you were disappointed, did you contact any of the people from Live Sport?
Yes, I did. We were all in
and
the
their
hall.
response?
Yeah, and they responded. And one of them, who was Gary, who is, the creative director, came downstairs when I came there, some of my guests were there. Some of them had left, had gone outside. I called them. They were already around the hotel. And so I went upstairs and I addressed it and I said to him that, we've been waiting for a while now. I mean, Ghanaians are conservative, we're respectful. So most of us waited, a while because we understand that she might have gone out and she would have been tired. So, we waited. And so I went upstairs and I addressed it. And he came downstairs with me, Gary. And so if people were in there, as some of the media guys were there, he addressed that, listen, there was a situation that we were handling, and made them aware and apologized. And so some of the girls were not even there at that time.
So
it was addressed.
So how did she make it up to you? How soon did she get closer? I heard she was there for hours. You waited for what, over 5 hours before she came down?
I actually didn't wait. If you realize, I was actually in my bedroom sleeping. Then they called me because I was already lodging at the hotel, so it was easy for me to I was in my hotel, so it basically felt like I left, just like every other person left. The only thing is I was in the hotel, and others were not there, and I was there because I was a performing artist. Every other person was also there, So I didn't wait. And I think that in life, if you are going for something, it's normal that if you can't wait, you just leave. And I decided to leave at a certain point, and so did my colleagues. And after I spoke to one or two of them, we decided that we're all going to leave and go and probably come back later to watch the show. So that is what I did as well. So I didn't wait there in a room waiting for her for 5 hours. I also had a lot of things to do. I had sound check to do. I had, clothing to fit on. And so I went into my room and I did just that. But she did make it up by reaching out, after a while when she heard that all this brouhaha was going on, she reached out, that her manager had just updated her and she had gone on the internet as well and seen what was going on, and she was apologetic for it. And she honestly didn't sing, and not to speak, but she didn't seem like the sort of person who would intentionally do that, because she was very apologetic to me, and I was in her room with her. She actually, I had to go there. She apologized to me and was telling me that she had no idea. In fact, she didn't have a clue that, because her manager had to brief her and she didn't come with her manager. So she was out there just doing her thing like she did in Lagos, and she always does anywhere that she goes to. So she was apologetic. She asked that, any of the female artists were here. I said most of them had left. She was like, no, she didn't know. She would never do that, So I at least got first-hand information. And when I got that, I made sure that I called, because I called people personally to invite them, my friends and colleagues to invite them. And I went through the effort of, again, calling them one by one to apologize. And I sent them messages as well to apologize to them. Because I had invited them because I was invited, and I wanted to share the glory with everybody. And it was the people that I invited were not more than 6 or 7, honestly.
Now, after the meet and greet,
yes,
well,
sir.
some celebrities took to social media to troll people or celebrities who had gone there to meet with Cardi-B.
Yeah.
Were you affected?
Andy, I think you should know me by now. I am the sort of person that, first of all, I don't pay a lot of attention to social media. I understand how hurt people would be naturally, because, we all went there in good faith. Like people said, we did not just get up, dress up to go and meet Cardi-B. We were officially, and we were invited. Even some of the people that I personally didn't invite, after having conversations, I knew that people in the media that he respected had invited them, so we were invited to come and meet. And Ghana is a hospitable city, and that is country, and that is why we're hosting a lot of people for the year of return. We would naturally, even if they had called us today, right, go there, and that's the sort of people that we are. And so I would say that, yes, I felt like, why didn't we get information? Because, we're all busy doing other things. But I wasn't so affected, and that's the truth. I'm speaking for myself.
So it means you invited the Kwapin Polo, Moisha, Efiodo, and
I didn't invite Ethiopian Polo. No, I didn't. I invited Moesha and Ifeodo, who are my little sisters that I personally love and take care of. I mean, they're my girls. But I didn't invite Ethiopian Polo.
Were you surprised to see her there?
No, I wasn't. I mean, she's also a female in entertainment. There were other people that were there, and I was actually glad that there was a mixture of different people in entertainment that were there. That is the sort of thing that, Andy, honestly makes me happy as a female artist.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us.
And Cardi-B enjoyed her. She told me she really loved the Ethiopian Polo so much with her twerking. So, and I told her about Afia, you know. So I even told her about, you know, Ifeodo. She followed Ifeodo when I spoke about her. I spoke about a few people that were there that wanted to see her. She followed them. You know, when we were doing a meet and greet, I made sure that the Ethiopian Polo had her talk. I called her to come up. You know, because I'm watching out for my sisters, and that is what I always do and will always continue to do.
Now, you seem quite closer to her now. Is there a possible collaboration?
You never know. I mean, you never know, 'cause we're talking, so you never know. We chat.
Right.
I mean, we have one-on-one conversations now. And honestly, she had apologized to every single person that was invited. I think that is something that should be clear. I always tell people that sometimes patience is virtue, you know. And if she had more time, I'm telling you, we would have all been doing something else right now. Honestly, we all would have. It's unfortunate that there was a huge communication gap, and things were not communicated properly to us. And we waited too long before we got to know these things. Everybody that I spoke to, some of my big sisters that